The day is September 25th, 1985, and here at the Grand Rapids Metal Fabrication Plant, employees and dignitaries gather to hear good news. Good news for the plant, its employees, the Grand Rapids community area, and the state of Michigan. Over 3,500 men and women work at this plant. And this morning, nearly all of the first shift employees gathered to hear General Motors Vice President and Director of Operations David Campbell make an important announcement. The day began with a meeting of company officials, community, and state leaders. Plant manager Bill Cruz served as master of ceremonies.
Let me try this one on you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's give that another shot. Good morning. That's great.
Mr. Cruz thanked the visiting dignitaries for coming to participate in the event, with a special note of thanks to a local high school band, whose music served to help set the day's festive mood.
Before we start this morning, let's give our good neighbor, the Baldwin High School Band, a nice round of applause. The news we bring is of such a magnitude that it impacts not only the employees of the plant, but also the community at large, the state of Michigan, and yes, even the United States of America.
In 1935, ground was broken for this plant, and its first automobile parts were shipped in the fall of 1936. Since its beginning nearly 50 years ago, the plant has been an integral part of General Motors history.
Today, we are again called upon to repeat this noble effort for the next 50 years. And to make this possible, I would now like to introduce to you again Dave Campbell, our General Motors Vice President, who is a very good friend of all of us here at Grand Rapids Metal. He has been in our plant many times over the past years to lend encouragement and support to our efforts. Dave is here this morning so that he could tell all of us some very good news. Let's all now give Dave Campbell a rousing welcome that can be heard all the way from Grand Rapids to Tokyo.
The official reason for this gathering is for me to announce that we are going to spend $500 million to modernize the Grand Rapids metal fabricating plant. Now, when we get through with this modernization, that will make the Grand Rapids plant, if not the most modern metal fabricating plant in the world, certainly one of the most, because you will have all of the latest equipment that money can buy. Everybody in the world wants to ship their cars into our market. We have them coming from Japan, we have them coming from Europe, now they're coming from Korea. Pretty soon we're going to get them coming in from Yugoslavia. I'm not sure where they're going to be coming from next. But everybody in the world wants our market. And I don't know about you, but I'm not willing to give it up to them yet. I'm convinced that we have the best workforce in the world, and that working together, we can beat the Japanese and the other foreigners who want to ship their cars into our market. Now, we can buy and will modernize, and we'll buy the latest equipment and build the best plant. But that equipment won't get the job done. It's the people who will get that job done. And the people of Grand Rapids, and I'm proud to say I'm convinced that the people of Grand Rapids can and will get the job done if we give them the equipment.
Mr. Campbell also announced the retirement of longtime plant manager Bill Cruz. Mr. Campbell praised Mr. Cruz for his outstanding career that began at General Motors in 1949 and thanked him for his years of service.
I want to thank all of you, and I want to say to you, finally, that you've earned the right to have this new equipment. The new equipment will help us not just to meet the competition, but to beat the competition.
A good working relationship between plant officials, the UAW, and government leaders is essential to the success of the Grand Rapids metal fabrication plant. And with that in mind, Bill Cruz made his next introduction.
And now it is my pleasure to introduce another important partner in our future, who is committed to moving Michigan to its proper place of prominence in industry throughout the world, the Governor of the State of Michigan, the Honorable James Blanchard.
You know, about 3 years ago, the state of Michigan was bankrupt. Things were so bad that the state of Michigan had to go to a group of Japanese banks for a loan to get through the year. Things were so bad, we had the lowest credit rating in the nation. We were tied with Puerto Rico for our credit rating. And I think you know about the layoffs and the joblessness and the suffering of people and families. Things were so bad, Michigan actually passed a law to let felons out of prison early because we didn't have space for them and we didn't have the money to build prisons. How that's changed. How that's changed, and you were part of that. Within the last 2 years, General Motors alone is investing $3 billion in this state. And that's an investment in jobs. You are part of that investment. $500 million to modernize this plant, already an efficient plant, a plant they're proud of. $500 million means that the 3,500 jobs here, your jobs, the jobs of your brothers and sisters, and the hope and dreams of your families will be secure. But the interesting thing I heard before we came on from Don Eflin and from Bob Flynn and from Dave Campbell and Bill Krause is that the quality of work here in this plant far surpasses anywhere in this state or this country. And you ought to be proud of that. I think all of you are proud to live in Michigan, proud of a beautiful state. As you know, we have tremendous resources. We have fertile soil. Because of our climate and our soil and our water, we can grow over 50 major crops in Michigan. And the only state that can grow more is California, and they don't have water like we do. But in the final analysis, it's not the bricks, it's not the water, it's not the soil, it's not the trees, it's not the machine tools that are Michigan's most important resource. The most important resource in our great state is right in front of me. It's you, the human resource, and working together.
Governor Blanchard was followed by Barry Baldwin, UAW representative and chairman of the plant's shop committee. Mr. Baldwin was cited as being a vital part of the plant's team spirit.
It really is an honor and a pleasure for me to have this opportunity to speak to each and every one of you. As you know by now, we're all gathered here to make public the announcement of our modernization project. And this project, in my mind, and I'm sure in your mind, is not just an investment in our building alone, but it has to be an investment in each and every one of us who have worked at this plant. And it's not only for our work today, but definitely for our work in the future. And I'm proud to stand here as a representative of Local 730 because over the years, in all honesty, it's got to be the people that have worked in this plant before us. It has to be the people that are working in the plant today that really are directly responsible for this major investment. This day really is for each and every one of us, and we all should be very proud because this announcement only proves what I feel that we here at 730 already know, that we are the #1 stamping plant in the circuit today, and with this modernization and the people that we have working here, we will continue to be #1 in the future. Thank you very much.
The enthusiasm of forging new partnerships was found throughout all who participated, including UAW Vice President Don E. Flynn.
These are the nice days in my job when I get a chance to take part in joyous activities like this one. Dave Campbell mentioned the need to be competitive, which we all understand. Our job, of course, is to find ways that we can become competitive without reducing our standard of living or our standard of working. That makes the job more difficult, but not impossible, obviously. One of the ways that we can become competitive at no cost, really, to us is by building the better quality product than we used to in the past. You have been leaders in building quality products, and the new equipment that you have and that you're using will make it possible for you to do that even better in the future. My job partly is to encourage General Motors to build plants in the United States, and then our good friend, the governor, has been very helpful in seeing that a large share of that investment comes here in the state of Michigan, because it does take labor management and government all together to win in the struggle that we're currently involved in. The future requires that we have the latest tools and the latest technology, but it also requires that then our workforce be trained so that they can use those effectively and that we can get the maximum use out of them, which all goes to protecting our jobs. With the help of your local union and the international staff here, you are out in front in helping to lead the way to a lot of our brothers and sisters in other plants is how to incorporate technology into the system. So I congratulate you. Your chairman is exactly right. General Motors doesn't throw money around loosely. I know I have enough trouble getting some out of them on occasion. And they are investing the money here because you've earned it. Thank you very much.
We have been given and will be given the best facilities in the world to meet General Motors' goal of leapfrogging the competition worldwide in producing world-class quality automobiles. We here today hold the future of General Motors in our hands. We're the only ones that can make this whole plan work. The best facilities and the most advanced equipment in the world does not guarantee us a thing. It's going to require our best efforts, all of us.
Later in the day, second and third shift workers were able to see a video of the announcement. Immediately following the employee meeting, a news conference was held. CPC, UAW, government and community leaders fielded questions from the press. Plant manager Bill Cruz later hosted a community leaders briefing with Governor Blanchard in attendance. During the meeting, participants were shown this tape on the Grand Rapids metal fabrication plant. In 1935, ground was broken for the Grand Rapids metal fabrication plant. The plant's first automobile parts were shipped in the fall of 1936. Since its beginning nearly 50 years ago, the plant has grown from 437,000 square feet to over 2 million square feet. Almost all but 135,000 square feet is devoted to manufacturing. The plant covers 88 acres. As a part of this plant's history of modernization and its use of the latest in technology, CPC takes great pride in announcing yet another plant modernization and expansion project at Grand Rapids. Nearly $310 million is being spent in the effort. An additional 275,000 square feet will be constructed at the south end of the plant. The plant modernization and expansion will increase plant productivity. The focus of the Grand Rapids metal fabrication plant is on its people, providing plant employees with new opportunities to grow and develop within the industry. These achievements are gained through work experience and extensive training programs. Presently, over 3,000 men and women work at this plant to help CPC and General Motors provide customers with world-class automobiles at a competitive price. The project is expected to be completed in 1990. We hope that you've enjoyed this brief overview on the project, and we'd like to invite you to further experience the spirit of CPC and General Motors by touring the facility. What you will see is not only a part of CPC and General Motors history, but a vision of its bright future. A luncheon followed. Then tours of the plant were given. Visitors were transported in trams and given an extensive tour of the facility. The plant exceeds 2 million square feet. The tour enabled visitors to view firsthand the work in the plant and the modernization and expansion effort underway. Throughout its 50 years of existence, the Grand Rapids metal fabrication plant has kept pace with history. Its employees have worked hard, and in the words of plant manager Bill Cruz,
"You've earned the right for General Motors to make this investment here. I know of no finer people anywhere that could make this possible, and that together we will make it happen, so that 50 years from now, someone, possibly another group like this, will say, 'Well done.'"